Hello everyone, hopefully you're doing well. In this video, we're going to learn how to construct a Pareto chart or a bar chart or a pie chart using Excel. So usually a bar chart is used, or a Pareto chart is also a bar chart, okay? A bar chart is used to show or display frequencies of categorical data. Okay, so qualitative data. A bar chart is uses bars of equal width to show frequencies of categorical data or qualitative data. So the bars may or may not be separated by small gap, but usually it's not like it is not a histogram. The difference between a bar chart and a histogram is that the histogram, the bars are attached to one another. They connect, they attach to one another. But the bar charts, there are gaps between the bars, but they are equal width. It shows the relative distribution of categorical data so that it's easier to compare the different category. So a Pareto chart is a bar graph for qualitative data as well, with the added stipulation that the bars are arranged in descending order according to frequencies. So the bars decrease in height from left to right. Really, Pareto chart shows the relative distributions of qualitative data so that it's easier to compare the different categories. This draws attention to the more important categories. What they ask you to do also in this exercise is to construct a pie chart to display qualitative data. So bar chart, Pareto chart, uh, pie chart, pie chart, you use them to display qualitative data or categorical data. Pie chart is a very common graph that depicts categorical data as slices of a circle. So you might see so many pie chart. So it's a pie, as you said, it's pie, right? It's not like pie 3.14, but it's pie like a pizza, right? In which the size of each slice is proportional to the frequency count for the category. So although pie charts are very common, they are not as effective as Pareto charts, right? Of course, pie chart shows the distribution of categorical data in a very common use format. So let's try to do it. First of all, if you want to construct a pie, a bar graph, a bar chart or bar graph, I can select these two data. So I rewrite the data, the information given in the exercise, recent annual growth, revenue for the leading movie studios as follows. So you see, I put one column for the movie studios. So we have Century Fox 1082, Buena Vista 3092. We have Paramount 757, Sony and Columbia 1304, Universal 1772, Warner Brothers 1941. So what I do, I select these two data. Okay, so remember, I must do it this way. When I select this data, okay, I need to go to Insert and Graph. As you see from those graphs right here, I can choose either one. I can choose either one of these graphs to display, the data. But you know what? What if I take the first one? The first one looks mostly like, but because I'm not looking for, let's do the columns. Here we go. If I use this graph, if I use this one, okay, we can say this is a bar graph, okay? So this is a bar graph. So this is a bar graph. As you can see, in this bar graph, Century Fox was the first one, so it comes first. So we call this one is a bar graph, all right? So I can even use it as, you know what? Let's do it that way. So I'm gonna just include the axis, okay? The axis right there and change it. So we know the vertical axis would be the horizontal axis would be the movie studios, and the vertical axis would be the annual gross revenue in millions, right? $1 million. All right. Now I'm gonna just call it a bar graph. So because I want you to make sure you remember, you see the difference between a bar graph, a Pareto chart, and also a pie chart. So bar graph, bar chart. Okay, okay. I'm gonna call it bar graph. All right, or bar chart. All right, so this is the bar chart. You see, we don't pay attention whether the one with the highest frequency come first. But what we want to show, what we really want to show with Pareto, it would be different. Now, I can select the same data. Okay, let's select the same data. I mean, with a bar, remember, I can choose to display the labels, so we know how many for each of them. Let's do it that way, so you can see the difference between each of them, right? So you can decide to do it this way, right? And that would be fine also. So we can keep it this way, and you see this is a bar chart. Now I can select the same data set, both columns, and I hit enter, and I hit the same histogram here, but it's not really a histogram. You know what? I'm gonna call this one. As you can see, this is Pareto chart. This chart type to show the relative portion of each factor to the total, show the most significant factors in the data. So remember, we said Pareto chart is a bar chart with the added stipulation that the bars are arranged in ascending order, and that's exactly what happened here. If I click on it, of course, let's click on this. Of course, they are attached to one another because, I can, for this, if I select, oh, sorry, I need to click and here. I can increase the width and make sure there is a width between them. Let's put maybe 10. I'm gonna put 10 just to make them smaller. Okay, that's the width. If I click on it like this, you see the bars are disconnected to one another. But also, this show you the trends. But if I'm not interested to this, I can just erase it. All right, so I can just remove it. Okay, no line, or I can change the line. I can say no line here. As you can see, there is no line, right? And I can remove this line right here. So this is a Pareto chart. So we can always include the axis. Okay. So remember, in the axis, we said this would be the movie studio on the x-axis, movie studio on the x-axis, and on the y-axis, double check. I can erase. That would be annual gross revenue in millions, right? Revenue in millions. All right. So we said this is the revenue in millions of dollars. But of course, because I try to display qualitative data using Pareto, I need to say what if it's really Pareto. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm gonna just say it's a Pareto chart. Pareto chart. As I said, feel free to add the data, the labels on each data if you want to. You can add the legend if you want to, but we don't need this. We're gonna keep it this way, but of course, I don't need this axis on this side because that can express it in terms of percentages, this is a Pareto chart. So we do a bar chart and a Pareto chart. Lastly, in this video, what we're planning on constructing is a pie chart. So feel free to stop the video and review how to proceed to construct a bar chart, a Pareto chart, and now we're going to do a pie chart. Pie chart is a circle in which, each of these data are expressed in terms of a slice. So if I select my data, the two columns, and hit insert, you see the circle, insert pie or dot net chart. Use this chart type to show proportions of a whole. Use it when the total of your number is 100%, right? So if I do that, you can choose either of these, but because I like the first one, very simple, that's how you can proceed to show I'm gonna just put this right there. I would remove my data set, put it a little bit close-ups. Okay. Those are and now, okay. This is a pie chart. So remember these pie charts, you can choose either of them. When we select it, when we select it, you can show the percentages. Of course, manually, how we were supposed to construct a pie chart? Remember, constructing a pie chart, you need to convert every values you have here in terms of percentages. So how would you do it? Because I can do now manually, different ways you can show the same answer, but you know what? We have so many of them, but I can show it this way. I can show it like that in terms of percentages, or we can even have both of them, so we can decide that we're gonna add both the percentage and also the name in color. So let's suppose we keep this one that way. Let's suppose we keep it this way. So how we can proceed to change it and show it's a pie chart? I'm going to show you how you could construct it. So in the last column, first of all, you can say the total right here. Put the total, sum, okay? So sum of all this data, give you the data set. Remember to find the percentage of each of these, what you do, percent, relative frequency or relative frequency. Now, we should equals the frequency divided by the totals. I would hit F4 for the totals or put a dollar sign in the denominator. If you put the dollar sign, that means everything else would be divided by the total. So I'm going to drag this one down. Right? Oh, what is that? No, 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 no. Okay. I messed up a little bit. Hold on. Hold on. I need to erase everything. I do equals frequency divided by the totals. So in these totals here, I can hit F4 or put a dollar sign, enter. Okay. No, why you do that? Oh, that was not the totals. Okay, okay, that's why I don't see it. All right, so we're gonna do equals frequency divided by the totals. This is the totals. Then F4 to put the dollar sign, that means everything would be divided by that number. So we go down. All right, so remember if we do total, now these totals here Yeah, I can put it 2 digits or 3 digits. Let's hit this number to reduce the decimal point, and you would see. Here we go. Exactly the same, and the totals here must be 100%. So we don't need to find each relative frequency, but if you compare these two, you would see your pie chart. In the pie chart, each movie studio correspond to that percentage. You see, Century Fox is 11%, and based on the color, but we can also click on on these to include the labels. You see, we can put it that way also by hitting uh, data labels and choose data called out, and here we go. You know, so you're doing the most beautiful pie chart of all times. All right. So hopefully you enjoy this one because this is the pie chart that you're gonna really like. If you have any questions, feel free and let me know. I'll see you in a different video to continue using Excel to construct a lot of graphs and statistics. Take care.